Okay, let's get this done. Hi, my name is Kim, and I have a voice disorder called spasmodic dysphonia. I was not born with this. I lived 20 great years of my life without this condition. I started experiencing symptoms for spasmodic dysphonia about 5 years ago. Literally, the day that I graduated college was when everything changed. So a little backstory on my life. I've always been a very musical person. I've always been very musically inclined. I've been singing since I was really little. Singing has been, or was, all that I knew when I was younger. The high school that I went to was a performing arts high school, so I was very involved in like theater and singing and acting and dancing and all of that. I've just always been the singer of the family. So after I graduated high school, I went to college for musical theater. If you don't know what musical theater is, it's basically singing, acting, and dancing. You combine the three, and you do that on Broadway, and that's called musical theater. Towards the end of my college journey, it was a part of our like graduation requirement that we put on a show. Like that was part of the curriculum. We like put on this whole like theatrical show thing. So during that time, I was using my voice a lot, and I was singing a lot, and I was rehearsing a lot, and I was waking up early to audition. If you don't know anything about the musical theater world, it is a very hard world to get into. I was under a lot of pressure because I really wanted to book a job before my graduation. So I was auditioning a lot. On top of auditioning, I still had classes I had to go to. On top of classes, I had this show going on. So my body was going through like a lot of stress. I remember that I had this one audition, and I went to a practice room to like practice the song that I was gonna sing for the audition, and I could tell that like something was weird, like something was different with my voice. Like it was sounding shaky, it was sounding like weaker. My words would cut out sometimes when I would try to sing, and at the time I really didn't know what was going on. I just thought that maybe I was going through a lot of stress. Like even now I don't know what past me would even be thinking, because she didn't know what was going on at all. So I just thought that it would go away eventually. Then graduation day came, and my family came over to see me graduate, obviously, and so did my best friend at the time. And I remember that we went out to eat after graduation. I was talking to my family, and I remember my sister and my best friend, they would point it out. They would be like, Kim, like, are you okay? Like, you sound shaky, like your voice sounds weird. I remember telling them like, yeah, like I also noticed it too, but I don't know what's going on. Like I'm just probably just stressed. There's so many different emotions going on. I just graduated, the show just ended, like there's so many different things happening at the same time. Yeah, we just like accredited everything that was going on with my voice to that happening, because none of us had any idea what was going on with me. I moved back home after graduation. We went back to Jersey because we lived in Jersey, but I was studying in New York City. And weeks passed by, and nothing changed. My voice still sounded weird. It still sounded shaky. It still sounded like my words would crack. I would like say a sentence, and like my voice would crack in the middle of a sentence, and it was just so weird, and I did not know what was going on at all. I would speak to my family members on the phone, and they would ask my mom like, hey, what's going on with Kim? Like she sounds different. And I remember my mom would just like tell them like, I know my mom didn't mean no harm by this, because she was just confused as I was at the time. But she was just saying that like because of graduation and everything that happened and all the different emotions, that somehow that like affected me mentally. And now I had this like mental block. Like I was causing this myself. Like it was like a mental block, and it was just all in my head, and I was somehow causing this to myself. And for the longest time I believed that. It's so dangerous to tell someone that's going through something medical that what they're experiencing or the symptoms you're feeling, that it's all made up in their head, especially when the person themselves doesn't know what's going on. It's so dangerous to say that, because you're just adding extra stress to that person that is going through that medical problem that nobody seems to know what it is and nobody seems to understand. It really affected me mentally, because I thought I was going insane. Like I genuinely thought that it was all in my head, and I was causing this to myself, and I was going crazy. And that was such a dangerous place in my mind to be. What happened after that is there's this program called the Disney College Program. It's something that is offered here in Florida by Disney. And basically the idea of this whole thing is that you come to Florida and you work for Disney for a certain amount of months, and you get to live there on Disney property, and it's like this whole thing. If you want to look more into that, you can. But I decided at the time that I was going to do this program as like somehow just like get away from everything that was going on back at home. And somehow I felt that if I did get away, this would help me, and maybe just like getting away with just different scenery, everything would probably help and things would go back to normal. So I did that. I flew out to Florida by myself. I didn't get to finish my Disney college program because that's when the coronavirus happened. It was really hard for me to do my program because I just felt so alone. Nothing changed with my voice. I still sounded shaky and my voice would crack and all of that. So the college program came to an end because of the coronavirus, and I moved back home. I moved back to Jersey. I remember that it was a really isolating time for me, not only because of the coronavirus going on, like of course that added to everything, but also because I distanced myself from literally all of my friends. I stopped talking to the closest people in my life because I didn't understand what was going on. So I didn't want to speak to anybody. I didn't want to like talk on the phone with anybody. I didn't want to FaceTime anybody. And during the coronavirus, that was the primary way to communicate with people since we couldn't go outside and see people. So I ended up losing all of my friendships. It got to the point where I got depressed. When I got depressed is when my mom like started to like sort of like be like, we need to help Kim, like something is not right here. So that's when we started seeking medical attention. We went to the doctor and I got an endoscopy done. An endoscopy is when they put a camera down your throat and they just like check your stomach lining, because what we accredited the symptoms of my voice changing to at first was that I had acid reflux, and that's what I was diagnosed with the first time I went to the doctor. It was that I had acid reflux. So what was the cure for that? Change your diet. After that doctor appointment, we changed my diet. I didn't eat like acidic things. I cut out spicy food. I was eating a very like alkaline, healthy diet. That didn't help. That didn't change anything. And my voice was still the same. By this time, I had already been experiencing these symptoms for like a year, and this was my first time actually seeking medical attention, and I got a wrong diagnosis. And I remember one day, like so vividly, because my sister was trying to help me like overcome whatever was happening. One day she was like, hey Kim, like she opened the book and it was a children's book. And she was like, read this for me. And it was very hard for me to read at the time because I couldn't speak well. And you literally couldn't understand like a lot of what I was saying because my voice was just so shaky, and I was just so stressed and like so depressed at that time, and that just made everything worse because like when your body is under a lot of stress with this condition, your voice just gets worse. So then after that, I was so against going to a doctor. I was just so over everything. I just wanted to make myself believe that nothing was wrong. And so I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna live with it. I'm just gonna ignore it. I'm gonna live with it and I'm gonna ignore it. I'm not gonna see a doctor because I don't want to. And I was just in this stage of denial. I was grieving. I was honestly I was like, now thinking back to it, I was really going through a grieving process. Like when somebody dies and you go through like denial and grieving and all of that. I was grieving myself because I went from somebody that music was like their life. Like music was my life. Singing was so important to me. That was taken away from me like in a day, like literally in a day. That was taken away from me. I went from singing every single day to not singing at all, and I was going through a very difficult like identity crisis. I was like, if I'm not the singing Kim anymore, then what am I? Like, what am I supposed to do? I ignored it for like 2 years, and we moved to Florida. Me and my whole family moved to Florida. And just for those 2 years, I was just ignoring it. Like, I remember that I would get on the phone with like the bank or something, or like I would call somebody that didn't know me at all. And they would always ask me like, hey, what's wrong? Like, I would avoid phone calls at all costs. I hated phone calls so much. I hated them. Like, I would make my mom take the phone calls. I was like, Mom, I can't do this. Like, it would just cause me so much anxiety. And then the fact that people would like ask me and question me and be like, hey, are you okay? Like, you sound weird. Are you okay? That would make it even worse because I was like, fuck, like, leave me alone. Like, I'm fine. Like, I don't even know what's going on myself, so for you to question me is like, just makes everything worse. After those 2 years, I decided, I was like, Kim, it's been 4 years and nothing has gotten better. This is not in your head. You're not causing this to yourself, because if you were, you would have stopped this a long time ago. And why would I cause that amount of pain to myself? Like, I just didn't understand how I could possibly do that to myself. So I was like, I need to get help. So I googled, I was like, what doctor do I go to for voice issues? And it was like an ENT. So I looked in my area, I searched for ENTs. I tried to look for the best freaking ENT because I was like, I need a good doctor to tell me what the fuck is going on. Like, I need to know what is going on. At that time in my life, I just wanted a diagnosis so badly. Like, I just wanted to feel understood. I wanted to just feel like just get the validation from a doctor that, like, hey, you're not going insane. You actually do have a medical issue going on. You don't understand what it's like to be struggling with something medically and not knowing what is actually going on. It's really traumatic. It's a really traumatic experience. So I went to the ENT and they scoped me. So basically what happens is they put a camera down your nose. It goes through your nose and it goes down to your vocal cords. And they just like have you speak a couple of sentences. They give you a paper to read. Oh, after getting my first scope, the doctor tells me your vocal cords look healthy. There's nothing on your vocal cords. They are vibrating perfectly fine. And I'm like, that's interesting. Okay. So he diagnoses me with muscle tension dysphonia. Muscle tension dysphonia is basically like a cousin of spasmodic dysphonia, but it's not spasmodic dysphonia. Muscle tension dysphonia is basically like you're under a lot of stress and your muscles, like the stress is all accumulating in one place. And that place for me just so happens to be my throat and my vocal cords. That's what the doctor said. I was like, okay, maybe I do have muscle tension dysphonia. What do we do to fix it? He's like, you need to take speech therapy. And I only ended up showing up to one of those speech therapy appointments because they made me feel so helpless. Like, the things that we were doing in our sessions were just so kiddish. I was over here like reading sentences and like blowing bubbles out of a cup. In my core, I knew that that was not what was wrong with me anyway. And here goes another like 6 months of I got another wrong diagnosis. I know this is not what's wrong with me. What am I gonna do now? This is when I decided to take matters into my own hands and I started doing research. I like put my symptoms into Google. I'm like TikToking my symptoms too. I remember looking through TikTok and I actually found like 3 girls that sounded exactly like me. They sounded exactly like me. And I was like, oh my God. Like, am I finally a step closer to figuring out what is wrong with me? So under these girls' videos, like they were talking about spasmodic dysphonia. And I started looking deeper into spasmodic dysphonia and it was like exactly like everything that I was experiencing. And I was like, oh my God, like this might be what I actually have. I took this information and I went back to the ENT. And this time I saw a different doctor. And that doctor scoped me again. And he looks at me and he says, you don't have muscle tension dysphonia. He was like, you have spasmodic dysphonia. And at that moment, I was just so relieved to finally know the name of the condition that has been plaguing my life for 5 years. It was just so like, it was just such a relief for me. I felt so relieved to the point where I was like, I don't even care that I have this anymore. I'm just so happy to finally know that I'm not insane, that I'm not crazy, that I wasn't causing this, and that there is an actual medical condition for this. You don't realize how much of your identity is in your voice until you can't use it, or until it doesn't function at its 100% capacity. You know what I mean? It just felt so good to have a sense of control back, to have, I don't know, I just felt like a part of me was given back to me, like my confidence was given back to me. Somehow, like a part of my personality was also given back to me because I used to hide so much of what I wanted to say. Like I held so much back. I held so many conversations back. I held so many questions back. I held so many comments back because I didn't want to be judged by other people. I didn't want to be questioned. I didn't want them to ask me questions. I didn't want them to be like, you sound different, you sound weird, what's wrong, what's going on? I didn't want any of that. And so to avoid all of that confrontation and all of those questions, I just decided to silence myself. But to finish the story up, I am in a much better place now. And I have been for like 2 years, a year and a half, 2 years. I learned to not let this control me. Yeah, but I am honestly so proud of myself and so happy for how far I've come. If I let this disorder take over my life, I would be miserable. And I can't let that happen. So I think that's all for me today. But the message that I want to leave this video with, and this is the whole reason why I made this entire video, if you're somebody that is struggling with this and it's affecting your life and it's affecting your relationships and it's affecting your overall everything, I just want you to know that I am here for you. Please reach out to me if you have any questions about the treatment, if you have any questions about anything, if there's anything that I didn't answer in this video, please reach out to me. I'm here for you. I know that it's something that can really affect your mental health and can cause you to spiral and think really negative things. So just want you to know that I am here for you. Okay, so now for this part of the video, I'm gonna take you guys along with me as I get my actual Botox. Mind you, this was like a week and a half ago. So this is me currently a week and a half ago after the treatment. So I just wanted to take you guys along the process so that you guys can see from the beginning to end. And obviously this is like not totally the end. Like this is probably my voice being back by like 75-80%. I hope you guys enjoy that, so have fun watching. Today I'm gonna be going in for my second round of Botox for my, whoa, the hair is looking crazy. Speech disorder. I just wanted to sort of log this process of me going into the treatment and me going throughout the days with the treatment so that we can all hear the difference, and so that I can spread awareness about this condition and all of that. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a shower because I look crusty dusty. So I'm so scared to record inside of places, so I'm gonna like put the camera down.
Hi,
Hello,
sorry,
good morning. No worries. I have an appointment for 11:30 for Kimberly. We just finished the exam. That actually wasn't that bad. Now I'm gonna get dressed and we're gonna get the heck out of here. Okay, perfect. So I just ate. Now I'm just gonna clean up the room a little bit and I'm gonna do my makeup before I have to go to my next appointment, which is the most important appointment. Yeah, let's get to cleaning the room.
Es la hora de chichar, es la hora de chichar, es la hora de chichar,
It's currently 1:45 p.m. My next appointment is at 3 and it is a 30-minute drive. So that means we have to leave my house by like 2:30 so that we can get there on time. Okay, perfect. That is the makeup look. What do we think? It's time to head over to the appointment. It is like 2:25 or something. So we have like 5 extra minutes just in case anything were to happen. I'm really excited to get my second treatment and see how everything goes. I'm supposed to be getting a lower dosage than what I got last time. I'm a little bit nervous, just a little bit. It's not painful, but it is a little bit uncomfortable, and I'm hoping that the doctor does let me record inside of the office. Even though I'm pretty sure he's gonna say no, I'm gonna explain to him what it is that I'm doing, and then I'm hoping that'll get him to be like, okay, if it's for educational purposes and you can record. But if not, and you guys know that I tried my hardest to record. But let's go.
Don't wanna be a one-man woman. Got me stranded like a boat in the sand. Just the thought of not spreading my wings drives me crazy.
I hope that doesn't come out. If that comes out, let me know, okay? All right. So the doctor will be here soon, okay?
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
These are like electromagnetic little communication devices. They let the doctor know where my vocal cords are so that when he's putting in the needle, he knows where to like go and reach my vocal cord so that he's not just like putting Botox where he's not supposed to be putting Botox. But that's pretty much the explanation for that.
Don't wanna be a one.
Hey,
Hello.
how you doing? How did it
Doing
work?
good. How are you? It went really well.
Good, good.
Except for like the part where I couldn't clear my throat. That scared me a little bit.
How long did that last?
It lasted like a week or two.
Okay, so about 1 week of whispery kind of.
Yeah, the whisper didn't bother me. Oh, like it wasn't.
It was the
wasn't
clearing
that
the
bad.
throat. Okay.
Just to like spread awareness about it, I have been
Yeah.
posting it on social media.
Yeah.
And I have been getting like a couple of like females, specifically more females than guys, be like, oh, like I'm also experiencing the same thing, blah blah. So I would want to keep like spreading awareness about it, and that's why I wanted to ask you if it was okay if we recorded me, like not you, just like you doing the actual injections, just so that
I can't do it during the injection itself unless it's something we produce, and we are working on getting something together, and we can share that with you when we do. And if you're willing to do that, I may do that next time you come in.
Okay, yeah, that would be perfect.
Okay, yeah, I just have to.
We just finished the appointment. It went really well. Right now I'm just experiencing like it's just a little bit of soreness because he does have to like put a little bit of pressure on my neck to be able to like just feel around and all of that. He's one of the only doctors here in Orlando that actually do this procedure, and he's a really good doctor, so I'm really grateful that I was able to find him. He didn't let me record the procedure just because their own privacy thingies that they have like within their practice. He did tell me that they want to make a video for the practice, and he offered if I wanted to be like the patient that was like the test buddy basically for the video, and I was like, yeah, like I'm so down to do that. I'm so down to keep spreading awareness and just like letting people know that this is an actual thing, because there's so many like different disorders and sicknesses out there that like we don't know about. Like even me, there's so many that I don't know about, and like you see somebody that sounds different than you or looks different than you judge them like unconsciously, or like you just don't understand what's going on, so like you maybe treat them differently or you think of them differently, when in reality like you don't know what that person is going through. But yeah, that's pretty much my update. Now we're gonna go ahead and head home, and I'll keep you guys updated throughout the week as to like what I sound like and stuff like that. I did tell him that I was leaving to a trip in February, so I would like for the dosage to last me my entire time that I was there. We did go up in the dosage just a little bit. I might like experience just heavier side effects because I did go up on the dosage instead of going down, which was my original plan, because the first time I got the procedure done I was having a really hard time clearing my throat, and that was like driving me insane because I do want it to last me all throughout my trip. I'm gonna be gone for about like 2 months, so I like don't want to have to worry about my voice during that time. So yeah, that's why I decided to go up on the dosage a little bit, even if it means I'm gonna be uncomfortable for like 1 to 2 weeks. Okay, that's enough talking for now. I will talk to you guys when I get to the house. Okay, so I'm back in my room. I just wanted to show you guys the injection site. So I don't know if you can see that like tiny dot right there, but that's pretty much where the needle goes in, and then he uses the electromagnetic little device, and then it tells him where the vocal cords are, and then he like moves the needle around because it's like a flexible needle, and then he injects the vocal cords individually with the Botox. But that's pretty much it for today. I will update you guys if anything happens today, but there will literally be no difference in my voice today. But if there are any changes, I will come back and update you guys and let you know what's going on. As of right now, it's just a little bit sore, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Good morning, everybody. Today is day 2 post Botox. I thought that today we could get ready together while I just talk to you guys so that you guys can hear the difference from yesterday to today. So that way you have a good amount of speech to compare to yesterday's video. Last time I got Botox, it was also pretty similar to how this time is going. The second day I woke up, and mind you, like last time I got it was my first time ever getting it. So like I woke up the second day and I was like, oh my god, this works so quickly. I feel so amazing, blah, 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 blah. And then the third day came on, and that's when like the breathy stage started to happen, because when you get this injection, your voice is going to go through different little stages, and unfortunately, this is only going to last me like today, because it's going to get weaker and weaker. That's what the Botox is supposed to do. It's supposed to weaken the vocal cord muscles just a little bit so that the signals my brain is sending that makes them crack or break or sound like I'm crying, so that they're a little bit weaker and the signals don't come on as strong. The point that I'm trying to get across is my voice will get worse before it does gradually like begin to gain its power again and get better and sound like this with no cracks, but just I'm able to project it a little more, because I don't know if you can hear it already. It's a little breathy. Like I have a really strong voice, and right now it's just sounding like a little breathy. and that breathiness is going to increase as the weeks go by. It's going to last like 1 to 2 weeks, and then that's when like I have like full like power, and like it'll be just like my normal voice. There's also some side effects that come along with this. The Botox does weaken the other muscles around the throat that are in charge of your swallowing, your coughing, your like clearing your throat. Swallowing liquids, not food. You're good with food, you can eat whatever you want to eat, but just swallowing liquids, it goes down the wrong route and you end up choking. And then that means you have to cough, which is hard to do. So that's not a really good combination. You can't take multiple sips at once. You have to like take a sip, let it go down, wait for like 5 seconds, 10 seconds. This is only gonna last like 1 to 2 weeks. You won't have to deal with this for the entire duration of your treatment. That's pretty much all the updates I have for right now. Like I said, I will update you guys if anything changes, if I'm experiencing any other side effects, or if anything new comes along that I haven't already experienced from the first time around. I will let you guys know and keep you updated on everything. But that's it for now. I'll see you guys either later today or tomorrow. Bye. Hey guys, we're gonna ignore the mess. It's the same day as before, and I just wanted to come on here because I just got reminded of something, because I was singing like I was having a little party. Yeah, like that. And that's when I remembered another side effect. You cannot scream. I'm not able to fully like project these songs, because if I tried, nothing would come out. It was because that's the Botox is doing what the Botox is supposed to be doing. Since that just came to mind, I just wanted to come here and give you guys that little update so that you guys know. But yeah, I'm gonna get back to my dance party. You guys have a good night, and I will see you guys for day 3 tomorrow. Bye. Hey, day 4 post Botox injections. I didn't update you guys yesterday because I was really busy working and I just didn't pick up the camera. But here I am with a little update. If you can hear the difference in my voice, we have reached the breathy stage. This is like not the natural tone of my voice. It's definitely like a calmer tone, like very breathy. There's only a certain amount of volume that I am able to hit with my voice. Like if I were to scream, it wouldn't be possible. If I were to like, for example, when I like call my niece and she's like across the room and I'm like calling her like, Jocelyn, come here, she can't even hear me because I'm not able to project that much. I'm able to just like speak at this volume that I'm talking right now. Another thing I want to update on is when I got my treatment the first time, I was having a lot of issues with choking on my liquids when I would drink water or when I would drink juice. And this time around, it's a lot easier. I'm not choking. I don't really know what the difference is, especially because this time I did get an even higher dosage. I don't really know what the logic behind that is, but hey, whatever. But that's pretty much it, and I will see you guys tomorrow for day 5. Bye. Hello everybody, welcome to day 5 post Botox injections. Today my voice feels honestly even weaker than it did yesterday. It feels just like breathier than it did yesterday, more subtle, more calm than it did yesterday. This is a stage that like I'm not really like a big fan of because I'm not able to like call somebody across the room. I'm not able to raise my voice past a certain pitch, and it's not because I don't want to, because I'm scared of hurting something, because that's not the case. Like there's nothing to hurt. I'm actually just unable to go past a certain level, which is what I was talking about yesterday. Like it's like not even something that I have access to, not something that I'm withholding myself from doing, but just something that I just cannot do. So yeah, it's just a little bit annoying because I'm a really expressive person and I'm like really loud and stuff, so but it's fine, it's no big deal. That's pretty much my update for today. I have nothing else to say. I think I'm gonna come back and update you guys when my voice is at like its full capacity, like the breathiness will be gone and this like weaker face will be gone and it'll just be like my normal voice. Yeah, because I just feel like the rest of these days there's not much else to say other than that this is gonna be what I sound like for the next couple of days. I will see you guys when this stage is over. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you watched all the way to the end, wow, thank you. Like I said, if you need me, if you're struggling with this, I'm here for you. That's it for today. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.